All right, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is doing well. So let's get straight into it. So this question was sent in by a parent as well as a student, and they were studying late at night. So if you have a question or a query, just send me a WhatsApp picture and say, "Hey, sir, what's up? I need help with this," and I'll always try my best to get back to you as quickly as possible. Right? It just depends on the time that you send it. Yeah. So the question says. Harry spends 3.25 hours daily to do his homework. Peter studies 1 2/3 hours more than Harry. So I took the liberty of writing your question again so it would appear better and clearer on your screen. So as customary, I always tell my students to read questions twice. Give yourself a chance. You have never seen it before, so you need to get familiar with the subject matter. Right? So let's go again. It says here Harry spends 3.25 hours daily to do his homework. Now that is important, so I'll underline that. You underline the important things. So the name Harry is not important, but the fact that he spends 3.25 hours daily, right? 3.25 hours daily. Harry doing his undergrad. Okay. To his homework, Peter studies 1 2/3 hours more. 1 2/3 hours more. That's important as well, right? So I always remember telling my students to read it twice and underline the important things because when you get into the section 3 of the essay paper, especially for the questions that has a lot of words, those questions that have many, many words, you really want to sift out and extract the important information because you don't want to get too much information. You want to calculate what they're asking you for. Yeah? So part A asks, how many hours does Peter study? Right? How many hours does Peter study? And part B asks, how many hours do they study together? So this question is a combination of fractions as well as time. Okay, so it's a combination of fractions as well as time. Now, I would tell you, schools do different things, and I know some parents do, well, they have done different things since they went to school. So I always try to teach it in a way across the board so that all students would understand. But primarily, I try to ensure that it works for the SCA syllabus. So I'll tell you this, these are some quick notes here. You should be comfortable with fractions, okay? And this is what the question asks, time. So these words should be familiar to you, such as numerator, denominator, see if I can spell that correctly, denominator, adding, and subtracting fractions. These are some things that you should be familiar with. This is what this question is asking. Okay. So you should be familiar with these things to answer this question. And for time, I would say hours, minutes, 24 hours in a day. So I put days, I put weeks, and years. Or well, a year. Okay. Right? Just general information. These are things that are connected towards this question. Okay. So what we want to do, we want to, as the question says, part A, how many hours does Peter study? So therefore, we could gather for part A, let's go in purple. I think that's purple. Let's go part A. It says, we're going to say Peter studies 1 2/3 hours. Okay. And let me double check that. 1 2/3 hours and 3.25 hours because he studies 1 2/3 hours more than Harry. So I'm going to say 3.25 hours daily. 3.25 hours daily. Well, daily is not important here right now. So this is for part A. Now this is the English language. Okay, this is the English language here. What we want to do now is take the worded question and turn it into a mathematical language. Okay, so Peter studies 1 2/3 hours and 3.25 hours. So in terms of mathematical language, I can say Peter studies 1 and 2/3 hours, and the and there is going to be plus 3 1/4 hours. Yeah, 3 1/4 hours. So now, apart from all the words that we saw above here, at the end of the day, this is the mathematics you're working with here. So we just need to know 1 2/3 plus 3 1/4. All right. So there are many ways to calculate this. So generally, quite generally, if you have a different way to calculate it, leave it in the comments. Okay. So what we could do, we could add the whole numbers together, then add the fractions, and then add final answer to the whole numbers, and then add the final answer of the fractions. So let me demonstrate. So the whole numbers here would be 1 and 3. So let's just take those apart. 1 plus 3 is going to be equal to, you guessed it, 4. Now let's add the fractions. So we just need to do 2/3 plus 1/4. Yeah? So it's going to be 2/3 plus 1/4. Right? And so you have to get the lowest common multiple, which would be 12. Yeah, which would be 12. Okay, and you say 3 into 12 is 4. 4 by 2 is 8. So I'll go again. If this is too fast for you, this is a video. You can pull back. You could rewind and pause the video if you need to double check. So I'm saying 3 into 12 is 4. And then 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. So therefore I have 8 down here. Then I bring down my plus sign. 4 into 12 is 3. And then 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. I'm going to get 8 plus 3 is equal to 11 over 12. Right? 11 over 12. So therefore, this is my final number for the whole answer. Final answer for the whole number. This is my final answer for the fraction. So therefore, I'm going to add them together. So therefore, the amount of time that Peter studied would be the time he studied as well as the time Harry studied is going to be 4 and 11 over 12. And don't forget the units. We're working with hours here. Right? We're working with hours here. So 4 and 11, 12 hours. That should be your answer for part A. Yeah? Good. So that's the answer for part A. Part B now. Part B says, how many hours do they study together? Okay, how many hours do they study together? Well, we just found out how many hours does Peter study. So Peter studies 4 and 11, 12 hours. That is my boy Peter here. And then we know that Harry studies 3 1/4 hours. So therefore, it's yet another addition going on here. So let me write the English. Harry. Is this Harry? This sounds familiar. Harry and Peter. Is this some kind of Spider-Man plot here? Harry and Peter study 4 and 11, 12 hours and 3 1/4 hours. Okay. Right. And the thing about it here, guys, let me just focus on the word together here. The word together here, most of the time when you see the word together, they mean to add. So when you see questions that say, what is the answer altogether, or find the sum of, or find the total of something, most of the times they mean to add. So this is the question here in English language here. Harry and Peter studied 4 and 11, 12 hours and 3 1/4 hours together. And now I'm going to change it to the mathematical language. So this is the English language here. And it's a skill that you need to understand. Change it from all the English language and the words and everything. And you change it to the simple mathematical language. At the end of the day, this is what you need to do. 4 and 11 twelves plus 3 and a quarter. All right, and then we go ahead again. No, I'm running out of space here. So it says here 4 and a 3, so we'll add the whole numbers together. Get those out of the way. 4 plus 3 is equal to 7. Right? And now I have my fractions. I'm going to say 11 over 12 plus 3 and plus a quarter. I'm going to find the LCM. 12 should work. So I'm going to say 12 into 12 is 1, and then 12 by 1 is 11. Or you could simply say, well, hey, this is 11 over 12 here, and the denominators are the same, so therefore the numerators are the same. Yeah? Okay? Right? Bring down my add sign, or plus sign. 4 into 12 is 3. 3 by 1 is 3. So therefore, 11 plus 3 is going to be 14 over 12. It is an improper fraction. That should be a mixed number. So 12 into 14 is 1. Remainder 2 over 12. I can still simplify that yet more. And 2 over 12 can become, well, bring back my 1. And 2 over 12 can become 1 and 1/6. Okay? Now remember, this will be the answer to the fractions. This 1 and 1/6 was the answer to add in the fractions here. These two fractions, we add them together. But don't forget that the 7 was the 4 and the 3. So therefore, my final answer is going to be, let's write in green here to bring it home. It should be 7 plus 1 and 1/6. That should give me 8 and 1/6. These boys, they're doing the undergrad here. Okay, right? So the final answer for part B, where it says, how many hours do the boys study all together? Or together, how many hours do they study together? The answer would be 8 and 1/6 hours. Oops, I forgot to put my units. That's very important to put the units. 8 and 1/6 hours. Yeah, units are important. Always. Yeah, so that'll be my final answer there, guys. Right? So I want this video to be as short as possible. If you have a question, just WhatsApp me and I will try my best to figure it out. Also, I just want to say this is pretty interesting here. Let me just take like 30 seconds to explain this. It's interesting to say that Harry spends 3/4 hours daily to do his homework, and then Peter studies 1 2/3 hours more than Harry. And we have here the difference between homework and study. Now, when you're doing your homework, it's not the same as studying. I just want to say that. Doing your homework is not the same as studying. Doing your homework is an addition or an extension to what you do in school, but studying is bringing the concepts and getting everything together, gelling everything together in your mind. So just because you do homework, that doesn't mean that you're studying. Studying includes revision and reciting and then rewriting. Okay, that's what studying is. So if you just do your homework and if you're studying, that's not really studying. Just saying. So thanks again, guys. Have a great day. God bless.